X-Shot leaks mysterious listings. And hobby designers release exciting new blasters. While cities run their own Nerf wars?
I'm Grim.
I'm Vile Mods.
And I'm KT.
We are your hosts. All that and more in episode 53 of the Foam News Collective. Be sure as always to like the video, subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with the hobby and all things blasters. And with that, let's head right into the news.
Ever-vigilant contributor General Strife dredged up some advanced listings of new X-Shot products. While the listings have no pictures and only working product names, they offer some interesting insight into what Zuru has planned for the near future. Let's start with the Blastercorn Rizz Master, a €30 blaster that comes with 24 darts. This is almost certainly a larger blaster in what may become a line of silly, unicorn, or magic-themed blasters. Considering that the motorized Clipmania currently sells on Blaster Time for €32, albeit with more darts, we can't rule out the possibility that this could be a flywheeler, and indeed the listing does say the product requires batteries, although that could also be to power decorative elements, or it could just be an error. Next up is the Insanity Mega Barrel Light and Smoke, a €50 listing with 72 darts. Late Thursday night, General Strife came through yet again with a picture confirming this particular leak as the Insanity Smoking Barrel, a top-lever-primed, chain-fed Springer with battery-powered special effects. Krein of Blaster Time explained that the button on top activates a smoke effect from the barrel, while the trigger activates lights when firing. Krein also confirmed that although the dimensions differ slightly, the chain is backwards compatible with crusher belts. Smoke generation is not a common feature. The most recent use we've seen is the Busby Gunsmoke from 2014. Smoking or non-smoking, this could also be the name of a new subline, similar to Horror Fire. Finally, we have the Pro Series Mega Blaster with a whopping €90 price tag and 40 darts. At this price, this would be X-Shot's most expensive dart blaster, possibly ever, at around $70 USD, but along with the listing's battery requirement, it may represent some kind of Select Fire Pro flywheeler or even an AEB, an arena that X-Shot has yet to enter. As an aside, X-Shot's use of the word mega here seems endemic to the company's branding as a way to say big, such as with the Mad Mega Barrel, and not a reference to Nerf's trademarked ammo type. Were X-Shot to introduce a mega-compatible ammo type, they would likely choose a new name as they did with their rival-compatible Chaos rounds previously.
Mighty Shrub has released her new bolt-action Nightingale Mag Springer called SMILEY over on Printables. This creation is a remix of an unreleased, for now, Mr. Heathpant's Renfield NK3, which moved the plunger tube into the grip instead of in line with the barrel, giving it a more bolt-action aesthetic. The blaster has an included barrel collet along with quick-release cotter pin for ease of spring swaps on the fly, taking the blaster from HVZ-friendly FPS levels up to over 200 plus with different spring and barrel combinations. While the bolt for the blaster can be 3D printed, Shrub has teased photos of machined options, which hopefully will be included if hardware kits become available.
The flycore ecosystem has spawned a litany of blaster options, and with all these options, what could be better than a blaster with even more options? Printables designer Cake has released their new flycore flywheeler, Ullr. This straight talon-fed flywheeler has customizations in spades, from multiple grips to a multi-stage trigger or rev switch, a solenoid file set variant, and to stock variations like buffer tube, end strike, pick rail, or adjustable stocks. This blaster has you covered. If you're looking to build a blaster all on your own, check the list of materials and link to the files down in the description.
2 years in, and the Nerf rival pilot continues to be a beloved target of modders due to its compact power, and now Dom's 3D print shop has combined it with another beloved format, Silly Shells. The SillyPilot completely replaces the front end of the stock blaster and offers shell ejection and full compatibility with every member of the Silly Shell family. Installation requires a modicum of hardware common in many hobby blasters and is well within the reach of anyone who's built a 3D printed blaster before. Check it out and download the files for free on Dom's Printables page, link in description.
A powerhouse pistol known as Thunderblaze has rolled into the market from designer WMYH. This bolt-action blaster is packed full of features, including slide lock on empty mag with a spring return to reload, an indicator for when a dart is chambered, and even an adjustable air restrictor to tune your power up or down. Even though it takes angled Talon mags, it requires a lower sleeve, which actually acts as the mag catch, which is something I've never seen before. While the blaster's name does sound like a power band from the 80s, this pistol actually made its first appearance back in September of 2024 across multiple Bilibili channels, with a recent update for assembled blasters and hardware kits now available through WMYH's Bilibili page. Unfortunately, that may limit accessibilities to those outside of China unless there's enough interest to gain the attention of any of the Western shops that specialize in imports.
On the hunt for something a little more unusual for your pump-action Springer? Printables designer The Pixelated Cat has released their novel new design, Ullr. This blaster has relatively low hardware, a swappable 8-dart cylinder-fed capacity, and low mass with 400 grams of filament required for a final weight of only 600 grams. All of this packed into a compact pump-action Springer frame that fires over 200 FPS with a K25 spring, and thanks to the low amount of filament needed, can be easily printed over a weekend before a game. For a full list of hardware, files, and more information, ski on down to the link in the description.
The latest attempt at the elusive Nerf grenade comes from 3D designer Astropulse. This design uses a new approach, powering a rotating release rod with an elastic slingshot band to launch 9 darts. Most uniquely, the design features a manually activated timer rather than opening up on impact like the airsoft grenades sometimes used by foam flingers. The elastic Nerf half-dart grenade fires at low power in a radial pattern. Despite this, it has the potential to catch players around corners when used correctly. Be aware that many hobby events don't allow any kind of hard objects to be tossed in-game for safety reasons, but for those that do, this might be a fun option. To grab the free printable files, check out the links down in the description.
In an emerging trend, cities around the United States have been sponsoring and hosting local foam flinging events in collaboration with hobbyists such as Bill of CR Nerf's collaborations with the town of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Buff Daddy shared with us a local interest story from Clarksville, Tennessee about an event hosted by the town's Parks and Recs department that featured adaptive sessions for those with special needs, with over 150 in attendance. KT spoke to Penny Green, event planning specialist at Clarksville Parks and Rec, about the event and how others might be able to replicate their success.
Penny Green, events planning specialist at Clarksville, Tennessee Parks and Rec. Thank you so much for coming on to talk to us about your really cool event. Will you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I work in the recreation department. I've been with the city for 5 years. Absolutely love my job.
But it has you running around a lot.
Absolutely. Because we are a municipality, we schedule things out. This stuff we're working on now is for September.
Ooh.
We are right on the Tennessee-Kentucky border. About an hour from Nashville. We have a very diverse population, especially with the military post being right close by.
You ran this Nerf War event. How did this particular event get started?
I actually happened to be walking past my superintendent's office, and she was having a conversation with our marketing coordinator, who had mentioned to her his friend had just went to a Nerf Wars in Hendersonville, Tennessee. I walked by and went, I want to do it. There's a process involved. It's not just like, hey, Penny wants to do this today. You know, we have to get approvals and it has to make sense. We have marketing plans, but we are absolutely focused on safety. So that played a big part in my planning the event. So then they gave me the blessing to do the program proposal with all the logistics and the budget and all that kind of stuff. And ta-da, it happened.
As a city organization, as a Parks and Rec department, what's the goal of running an event like this?
We are always challenging ourselves to bring exceptional programming to our community and provide positive experiences. And this is one of those opportunities.
One of the more unique aspects of your event was your partnership with the Middle Tennessee Association of Down Syndrome and CADS.
We really strive to provide programming for special populations, whether it's like special needs youth or adults or even the senior community or like are underserved or Hispanic, different populations. We were able to accommodate those 2 30-minute sessions.
What kind of strategies did you use to make play more accessible?
Those 2 sessions, the parents or the families were allowed out there the entire time. That's what the great part about having siblings or parents or cousins or grandmas. They were out there assisting. Everybody just got out there and had a good time.
What kind of community response did you get from the larger community? Was there any pushback from people worried about like violent play styles?
Not at all. The response was positively overwhelming. People were like, oh my gosh, you have to do this again. When are you going to do this again? And I was fortunate enough to be able to lock down another date in August because we find the value in it. We have a great relationship with our mayor, and if it was something that was conflicting with our mission or our values, it wouldn't have happened.
Right.
But, when you present it in a way and you show the benefit to the community, you show that I've, dotted my I's and crossed my T's.
That was one of the other things I was wondering about when it first got brought up and whether people inside the city government had concerns.
One of our councilmen reached out to us, and he's a STEM teacher. He actually 3D printed 2 weapons for the event.
Yes.
So we had a council person on board and geeked out about it. It was pretty amazing.
What kind of advice would you give to someone who's interested in engaging with their own city government about starting a similar kind of event?
Surveying your community to make certain it's something that they're going to find value in. Nothing is more disheartening than putting a lot of work into something that you find value in, but nobody else does. I went into some of the rec centers and asked the kids, well, what would this look like to you? And talk to people who've done it previously. There's going to be trial and error with it, and you've got to give yourself some grace. I'm going to have to find a different marketing strategy to target the teen demographic because we didn't have as much interest from them or the adults. I told them, I said, your input, we value it because it only makes these better. It only allows us to continue doing programs like this. So it gave me a whole different way to think about things. Mm-hmm. This wasn't my thing, so this really pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I was excited about it. I'm one of those people, I'm not afraid to be told no. If you go into everything with that mindset, worst you're going to do is be told no. I mean, you just kind of got to think outside the box. You got to be excited. You got to be ready to hear no. Yeah, ClarksvilleParksRec.com. Check us out.
Thank you to Penny and the Clarksville Parks and Recs department for taking the time to talk to us and for hosting such a great event. You can catch the full unedited interview at the link in the description. Busby has re-released their popular Alpha Auto 72 blaster under their Accu-Blast line with a new colorway to complement their Accu-Blast darts. If the blaster parts listing is to be believed, this new version will become available in May. Speaking of new colorways, Lanard has re-released 2 new white and yellow recolors of their single-shot pocket rocket. One yellow with white trigger and prime ring, the other with those colors reversed. Either colorway will retail for $6.75 USD. Out of Darts has new parts to modify your Diana on their web store. First is Hairtech's new SLS nylon printed hinged battery door equipped with a latch retailing for $14 United States dollars. For $250 USD, you can also get a thumb screw should you prefer to stick with a conventional battery cover for your Diana. Out of Darts has also added a 3x6 row Flag and Armor CNC BCAR to their lineup along with their 3x4 and 3x5 models, expecting to offer similar results to 15-degree BCARs with a lower bearing count. The new 3x6 model will run you $65 United States dollars, but please note that as of recording, they have not yet been fully tested by the Out of Darts team. Brooklyn Tony also has a new BCAR for you, this one with a 3x3 layout and a 5-degree angle. Tuned for blasters shooting at 175 to 250 FPS, most importantly, this BCAR fires mega darts out of the rifled end, and you can 3D print one for yourself over on Tony's printables page.
One of the first blasters I personally fell in love with when I got into the hobby was the Nerf Rayven. Something about its compactness, the comfortable form factor, but batteries, right? Money, What if the Rayven could just shoot darts, you know? Well, Gemini gets it. That's why they took the design of the Orion Blaster's Minx, shrunk it down even more, and stuffed the whole thing inside a Rayven shell to make a spring-powered Rayven. And wow, it just looks like a Rayven. There's something really magical about these kind of sleeper mods and the fact that this is just a completely different blaster inside than the original. It's just extra special. Gemini has made all the files for this mod available on printables, but to be very clear, this is not a conversion kit. It requires extensive modifications to the Rayven shell and quite a bit of custom hardware. Really a super special build. Great job, Gemini.
My community crosshairs this episode is on a game called Obstacle Overdrive by a little indie studio known as Arcane Ermine. This game is the brainchild of Addie and Michelle of Foam Blast, inspired by their new hobby of RC rock crawlers, but this version won't get you in trouble with your parents for turning the house into a crazy course. You can choose between multiple cars with unlockable hats and paint jobs, then take them on crazy tracks filled with obstacles to overcome, simply tumble down hills, or even go car bowling. This is the studio's first game, and there's no announced release date just yet, but it is up on Steam, ready to be wishlisted, which helps the game get more exposure and supports beloved members of the community. Find it at the link in the description.
And that's it for the news. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to catch us at episode 53 of the Foam News Collective podcast, where we'll be diving deep in an interview and chat with the creator of the Stinger brushless flywheeler about his experiences in and out of the hobby, and answering your questions from our Ko-Fi supporters. Speaking of which, if you want to support us monetarily, check out our Ko-Fi page where you can subscribe for some fun perks, or check out the merch page for shirts and stuff. A huge thank you to all our contributors, Discord moderators, and a special shout out to our new contributing editor, Cat's Blaster Mods. See you in the podcast, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode. Let's start with the $30 blaster. What the hell am I saying? Let's start with the Blastercorn Rizz Master, a €30. I swear to God, I know what I'm doing. I swear I know how to do this. Where is my Rayven? Here it is, here it is, here it is. Ta-da! Can I get it to stand up? Probably not, because it's actually really heavy. And that's it for the news. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And that's it for the news. Be sure to like this. And that's it for the news. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and And that's it for the news. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Be sure to catch us in episode 53 of the Foam News Collective podcast, where we'll be interviewing. Catch us in episode 53 of the Foam News Collective podcast, where we'll be interviewing, chatting. All right, I think we're done here. We're done here.